In the entire time I've had my property, I've had 6 lodgers. They were all good, they all behaved themselves. They had to. I'm the landlord. Now there's certain things I won't compromise on. Not paying their rent on time. 6 lodgers, 2.5 years worth of rent. Not one person failed to pay their rent. Or else you're gone. Smoking. That would never happen in my house. When I used to advertise my rooms, I used to clearly write in bold letters and capital letters, no smokers. Even if they went outside 2 miles down the road to smoke. No, because even when you smoke outside, you will still smell of smoke, and I don't want that in my house. I had one guy come to look at a room. As I said, bold capital letters, no smokers. He came into the room, looking around. Yeah, you know, the house is nice and stuff. And I said to him, do you smoke? He starts going, occasionally. He didn't even smell like he just had a smoke, but I could tell. I've got a nose like a hound. He did not get the room. And another thing I won't compromise on is hygiene. This is the story of my nasty lodgers. Now my mum drummed it into me to never go to sleep or go out for the day and leave a pile of dirty dishes in the sink. Now obviously from time to time we get a bit lazy, we get a bit slack. But with my tenants, I noticed this was a reoccurring thing. Remember, I didn't live up there full time, but most of the times I came up to the house, there'll be a pile of dirty dishes in the sink and nobody's around, everyone's gone to work. So I started pulling people up. I told them, look, you can't leave your dirty dishes in the sink and go to sleep or go out for the day. Before you go to sleep or go out for the day, you need to wash up everything that you've used. Now I had this conversation with pretty much everyone that lived in my house. But there was one guy, he pissed me off. When I first got my house, I was up here every other week without fail. And as time went on, I got more confident in my lodgers that they weren't going to destroy the place. So 2 weeks turned into 4 weeks. 4 weeks turned into 2 months. I wasn't really showing my face. But one of the guys I had, he used to always leave his dishes in the sink. One time I had been up to the house for about a month. And he was at work these times, probably about 4 p.m. I arrived at the house. So he didn't get back to the house till about 6 p.m. There was a pile of dirty dishes in the sink. Now I'd been at the house for about an hour. I'd gone out. And in this time, he's returned home. Now he must have seen that there were signs that Jay had been in the house. So when I returned, all the dishes miraculously washed themselves. So I didn't say nothing. Another month and a half has gone by. I returned to the house, dirty dishes in the sink again. So I pulled him up. Don't leave your dirty dishes in the sink and go out for the day. Yeah, cool. So he washed up all his dishes, went to bed. Now these times I'm not working, so I'm waking up around 9 in the morning. I come downstairs. This is after I told him, don't leave no dirty dishes in the sink and go to sleep or go out to work. I go into the kitchen, I see 1 bowl and 1 spoon left in the sink. I thought, you fucker. Now I wasn't gonna say nothing. I thought it's only 1 spoon, 1 bowl. But then I thought, nah, this motherfucker might be testing me. Although I pulled him up and he done what I said, he still might be testing me to see if he could just push the boundaries a little bit. So I was on him, but I ain't gonna phone him, I'll just wait until he comes home. I've gone out for the day and I've come back around about 11 o'clock. The same spoon and bowl are still in the sink. But it's 11 p.m, he's asleep, I ain't gonna wake him up just for a bowl and a spoon. The next day, it's around 6 a.m. He's getting ready for work. He's answered the door and I told him, look, you left a bowl and a spoon in the sink. You need to wash that up before you leave. Oh, I'm so sorry. I haven't got time. I've got to be in Birmingham in an hour and I'm going to be late. So I thought, you bitch. But I let him go without doing it. Although it seemed petty, I knocked on a man's door at 6 a.m. to tell him about a bowl and a spoon that he's left in the sink. I thought I still needed to do it. I can't have my tenants or lodgers thinking that they could test me or push the boundaries. After that incident, I never returned to the house again to see any dirty dishes or bowls in the sink. So I guess it worked. Or I never caught him. Now this one hasn't got anything to do with hygiene, it's just simple instruction following. You see this wash rack behind me here? I told my lodgers, when you wash your clothes, you need to hang and dry them in your room. I want to see you're washing downstairs. Although I've got a lot of space downstairs and your laundry room, yeah? One of my tenants was cool with it. She used to wash her clothes and dry them in her room. But my other tenant, nah. He thought he could get away with it since Jay wasn't around in the house too often. I came to the house one day and I saw his wash rack downstairs. So I told him, don't dry your clothes downstairs. Oh yeah. I was gonna take the stuff upstairs in a minute. I just forgot. Yeah. Like the story. So anyway, he's taking his stuff upstairs and then that was that. Another time I came back to the house and I saw an empty wash rack downstairs and I thought, But I didn't say nothing because I know if he's not following my instructions and he's doing things behind my back, I'm gonna catch him. But before I caught him in the act, my OCD and my hygiene skills allowed me to catch him. You see me? I'm like a detective. I pay attention to shit. And I'm fucking observant. I pretty much done all the deep cleaning in the house. Them fuckers, they just about done the bare minimum. And one time I mopped the floors downstairs and I left. And I returned 2 weeks later. Remember, I've told all the tenants, don't hang dry your clothes downstairs. You must do it in your room. Now I know, in that 2 week period of time, those lazy fuckers did not mop that floor. They didn't need to. But I'm a man, I like to mop the floor for the sake of mopping floors. And I remember, I was standing by the kitchen door and I was looking into the dining room. The sun was shining through the dining room window onto the floor. And I noticed, it looked as if there was a massive puddle that had dried up. Now it weren't wet or anything, but it looked like there was a stain on the floor that had dried up. You can only see it if the sun was shining on it. And I realised this guy was still drying his clothes downstairs, even though I said not to. But I knew it was only a matter of time before I catch him. So one time, as per usual, I turned up unannounced, unexpectedly. Because I never told any of my tenants or lodgers that I was coming down. They don't need to know. Yeah? And they could never dare say to me, oh, let us know before you come down. Nah. So one day, I came to the house and I walked inside and lo and behold, there was a wash rack with clothes hanging from it. Next thing you know, I hear the boy come running down the stairs like the place was on fire. The boy comes running into the kitchen where I was standing. What happened was, I came to the house unexpectedly. These times there's another girl living in the house. And my tenant, he knows her shift pattern. He knows this girl don't come home from work until 8 p.m. So if at 5 p.m. someone comes through the door, more than likely it's Jay. So as soon as I bust the front door, he thought, shit. So as soon as I saw him, I gave him that look. And I said, you alright? As I'm watching him rummage through the cupboards like some damn jackass. So anyway, I didn't even say anything. I just went out to my car. I didn't need to say anything. Do you know why? Because as soon as I came back to the house, after a minute, the wash rack disappeared like magic. But there were times when I had to pull up the man them about their hygiene in the bathroom. Now, when I talk about a male tenant, Don't think I'm making reference to one particular person. Remember, I had 6 people in my house. I had 1 girl and 5 men over the course of 2.5 years. One thing I can't stand about man them is when they piss all over the toilet and don't clean it up. I used to lift up the toilet seat and see piss all over the fucking toilet seat. Nah, brother. I went knocking. I had to send the man in there to go and clean up the piss. 1, 2 little drips, whatever in it, that's cool. But not piss drenched all over the toilet seat. I don't like that. Now I know some people are going to be watching thinking, oh, Jay man, you were too harsh on them, too petty. Listen, if it was just a rental property and I had nothing to do with it, I didn't live there, I didn't have a room. Cool. If they want to live a bit nasty, that's up to them. But once I have a room in a house with people and I'll be staying there from time to time, if the hygiene and cleanliness standard isn't up to par, there's a problem. This is some bonus footage for the man them. If you're with your girl, you may want to turn this video off and watch it at a later date. This is how you can tell if your girlfriend is cheating on you or not. But this only really works if she has her own place and she lives on her own. Next time you go to your girlfriend's house and you use the toilet, lift the seat up, and once you've done your business, clean the toilet. Get some Domestos. Clean the rim and clean the bottom of the seat. Don't use the toilet again and leave. Come back 2 or 3 weeks later. If there are piss stains on the rim or on the inside of the toilet seat, you know another man has been in that house. All you simply have to do is ask her, Taylor, have you had another guy in this house since I last was here? If she says no, then you know she is lying. Anyway, I had to deal with other little minor things as well, like people not taking out the bins. Luckily, the lady next door, she's a nice lady. She used to take the bins out for my tenants because obviously I'm not there every week. I'm not even there every month. And they were a bit lazy. They never used to take the bins out. So the nice lady next door used to do it for us. But we're coming towards the end of the video. Unfortunately, I know you love watching me. But one thing that used to piss me off was people not washing their hands after they go to the toilet. So my house is a 3-bed house. 2 of the rooms were occupied by tenants, and I had 1 room for myself. So now and then, when I could be bothered to, I would come down to Northampton and spend a few nights in my own room. So my bedroom is right beside the bathroom. So when I'm in bed and I'm half asleep, I can hear them going toilet. On one occasion, I could hear someone going toilet. Then the toilet flushed. Next thing you know, whoa! Whoever was in there last could have not have washed their hands. I weren't listening, but I can't pretend to not hear. And I know, between the time I first heard the toilet flush and that bathroom door open, there should at least be a 15-second delay. Not toilet flush and then door fly open. So I didn't go in there to check on them. I generally needed to use the toilet. And when I went into the bathroom, after I used the toilet, I checked the sink. And the sink was bone dry. Therefore, whoever was in there last never washed their hands. Dirty fucker. So I pulled them up. I had to. Whether it was embarrassing for me or embarrassing for them, I had to pull them up. I'm not having people in my house go piss and not wash their hands. I pulled out the guy and the girl. Now I know the girl's thinking, oh, well, I just sit on the toilet, I don't touch it. Nah, from when you enter the toilet and you flush the toilet, you need to fucking wash your hands. And I know they weren't washing their fucking hands. See this? This is hand wash. This is what people are going crazy for in all the superstores during this COVID period. I bought one of these, and even on my own, this would last a couple of weeks. Yeah? I bought one of these, and you know the Carex hand wash lasted 6 months in that house. So I knew for certain they were not washing their hands properly. And that made me paranoid. So anytime I was at the house, any fork, plate, spoon, bowl, even if it had appeared to have been washed and dried and in the cupboard or drawer, I wasn't going to use it without washing it myself. I believed it was washed, but because they don't wash their hands, I can't trust that their hands are clean even when they're doing the washing. So everything that I used, I gave it a pre-wash. But if you thought that was bad, this is even worse. Now, if you live in a house, you would have probably experienced your boiler breaking down, especially in the winter. It's a fucking nightmare. One of my tenants called me up and said, the electric in the kitchen is not working. It keeps tripping out. So I walked him through what to do. Unplug all appliances, reset the fuse at the fuse board, and start plugging in everything one by one and switching on all the switches. Well, unfortunately, it was the boiler that was tripping out the kitchen sockets because they're all on the same circuit. And that meant no boiler, which equals no hot water to wash. So I said the same thing to both my tenants. The boiler's not going to be working for the next couple of days until the home emergency people come out. Do you want me to give you the money so you can buy a big massive pot so that you can heat it on the stove and have a little cat wash in the bathroom? They both said no, well, okay. So I just thought, okay, they'll find an alternative way to have a shower. A couple of days later, I've made my way down to Northampton so that I can meet the boiler engineer so that hopefully he can fix the boiler. Because I didn't want him to take any time off work just so that they can meet a gas engineer. So I said, don't worry, I'm not at work at the moment. I will go down and meet the engineer. You guys can go to work. A couple of days later, the engineers turned up. Remember, for a few days, there's no hot water, So them lot must have found some alternative method of washing. So anyway, the guy inspected the boiler and it turns out it needs a new circuit board and he doesn't have any in stock, so he needs to order one and it could take 3 days. So I was like, okay, cool. So I informed both of my tenants. Unfortunately, the guy was unable to fix the boiler on the spot, so we're gonna have to wait another 3 days for the part to come and him to come back to fix the boiler. So they was okay with it. So 3 days later, and the guys returned. Again, my tenants had gone to work. I was the one that came up here to meet the boiler engineer. He's changed the circuit board. Right? He's changed the part that he thought he needed to change. What happens? Another part has broken down. So my tenants are expecting on this second visit for the boiler to work. So again, more bullshit and more time wasted. He had to go back, order a new part and come back 3 days later. Now usually I inform my tenants, the boiler's working, the boiler's not working. They're expecting this boiler to work. But I forgot to tell them that the guy was unable to fix the boiler on this occasion. And I went back to London. So remember, they're expecting the boiler to work. And I haven't said anything. Unfortunately, it just slipped my mind. I should have told them. I should have said, look, the guy came on this second occasion, he still wasn't able to fix the boiler. I get a text message 4 days later from one of my tenants. Hey, the boiler's not working. So what the fuck have you been doing for the last 4 days? Not showering? So anyway, my suspicions were confirmed when I went down to the house. I'd never seen this before. I went into the bathroom and I looked in the bathtub. This is how you know people don't use the bathtub and shower. When you see dead flies in the bathtub. I thought, you know what? I'm just dealing with a different breed of animal right now. And lastly, this just proves how nasty some of these men were that were living in my house. I have a shed at the back of my house. Unfortunately, the shed doesn't have a lock on it. And I had a tenant. He used to ride a really expensive bike to work. I said to him, look, there's no lock for the shed, so I've got an empty space in my living room. You can use it to store your bike, yeah? As long as it doesn't mark up the walls and damage the walls. Yeah? Every now and then, this guy used to get a lift to work from his work colleagues. Therefore, he didn't need to use his bike. One morning, I came downstairs and I've gone to make a cup of tea. Looked in the sink, plates and dishes and all that crap. I'm thinking there's no one in the house because it's dead silent. Yeah? Next thing you know, BAM! I hear a man's door fly open. The man comes running down the stairs and I'm like, yo, there's plates and stuff in the sink. Can you wash it before you leave? Trust me, I'm on every single tenant that leaves plates, dishes and spoons and that in the sink. Yeah. I'll pull everyone on it. Said to him, yo, can you deal with the plates and that? Oh, sorry, I'm extremely late. I haven't got time. I'm going to have to do it later. He jumps on his bike and sets off. You know the reason why the house was dead silent and I didn't realize he was in the house? He missed his alarm and he woke up late. He didn't brush his teeth or shower. He just come running down the stairs. He jumped on his bike and went straight to work. The man works in an office, administration, close proximity to people. And he didn't even bother to brush his teeth. Boy, some of these people I had to live with, boy. Stay wise.